everyone, this is Laura and welcome to my channel today. So I created my first Penpal book a few weeks ago and I had a lot of fun doing it. Now I did have a whole bunch of stuff going on at home over the last week and a half now. We had 2 storms, another one is coming. We had one major big one and then 2 little ones after that, and more snow and rain today, and my hands are a little stiff, but I really wanted to get this tutorial out of the way. I just wanted to share with some friends here my version of my Penpal flip book that I tweaked. Now, the original tutorial that I followed was from Little Hot Tomale, and I have to tell you guys, she did an amazing tutorial. I love the fact that I just discovered her channel. I love her videos. I love her spirit. I am going to have a link in my description box of her video. You guys have to go over and show this person some love because she is just amazing. She's also been extremely busy creating a lot of these Penpal flip books. So if you want to get some ideas, see some more Penpal flip books and get a little inspiration there, please do go on over to her channel. Check her out and you will not be disappointed, I promise. So yes, like I was saying, I followed her tutorial and there was nothing at all wrong with her tutorial except for the fact that I had to make one. And what I mean by that is I am a bit of a crazy person. I tend to go over the top with everything. I saw these books, I created one. I'm in the process of making a few more. And I'm like, I really want to zhuzh these up. I want to put lace on them. I want to put pockets. I want to make extra more flaps. I want to do this. I want to add this. I want to add this. And then I realized I couldn't do that. Everything that I wanted to the flip book the way that video instructed me to, because it was way too bulky. And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, so how do I use the same style that she did, but create the book so that I can add as much bulk to it and I won't warp the spine or the pages as much. And so this is what I made. As you can see, it very much does look like a Penpal book. Now, also, as I stated in my other 2 videos, and hopefully they're both up by now, because that's another thing. I was having problems making videos again. Hopefully you will see, and I'm hoping this will pick up on camera, that this little Penpal flip book has a spine, and this spine is about half an inch wide, and then it has 2 little gusses on top here that are 1/8 of an inch. Or is this a quarter? No, it's a little over a quarter. I mean, it's a little over 1/8 of an inch. Just 1/8 of an inch on each side, which would make it a quarter. And that's all I did to it. That's all I did. Now, I do prefer this style over the washi tape style, the one where they add pages with the washi tape. I don't like that. Well, for one, I discovered that washi tape, after a while, it does lift up, especially if you pull on it too much. The second being, not all washi tapes, and I know this is going to sound silly, but not all washi tapes were created equal. There are some that are of really good quality, but I find the washi tapes that we've purchased at the 99-cent stores, not all of them, but some of them, after one little lift, start losing their tackiness. And again, this is just my personal experience. Sometimes they start coming up at the ends, and so on and so forth. So what I decided to do, instead of using the washi tape as a binding for 2 pages, I would rather create it like this, and then if I wanted to go back after I decorate the whole book, then I'll add washi tape as a form of embellishment or decoration, and also to add some strength to the hinges that are created with the paper, because there is going to be a lot of like this. That's why I say it's really great to use really good cardstock if you're going to use this method. I made my book with just cardstock. I did not add washi to it, and it was just fine. But that doesn't mean, you know, you can't go to town and just add some washi. I want to add some lace, which is why I created this spine. I'm going to go and embellish these after I do the tutorial with you guys, and I'll share more little flip books in future videos. I had quite a few friends ask me about this, and I decided why not just share with them how I made it. That way they can see which system they like better. The washi tape, add a page. And what I mean by that is the other tutorial, what they did was, let me just do this real quick. What they did was they took, let's say these two pieces of paper that I have here are both 6 by 6. What they did was they take two pieces of paper like so, and it can be any measurement you want. It can be 6 by 6, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, or 10 by 10 if you want it. Totally up to you. And then what they do is they take the washi. Like I said, my hands are really bad, so I'm not moving as fast as I could be. They just add the washi like so. They put it on this side, and then they add some more on this side. And of course, it'll be a lot straighter. And then they just close the book. And that is how they bind their pages for the Penpal book using the washi tape system. I don't like it. I don't think it's sturdy enough for me. Like I said, I tend to go a little heavy when decorating books and when adding pages. Now, I think this is great as a form of embellishment for the inside of my books. That I would do, or to add, like I did in my other flip book, and like I've seen so many other friends do here on YouTube. That I would do, but as a form of actually creating. See, already the tackiness of this one is already gone. And that's exactly what I mean. But to use it as an actual binding system, I don't think I would. And that's just my personal opinion. So yeah, so I would much rather go with this style. I like the fact also that it's 6 by 6, so I can use my 6 by 6 papers, or I can use 12 by 12 papers, and they would, especially guys, how many of you out there do not have lots of little 6 by 6 paper stacks that you have just neglected, and you don't want to do a destash, and you just don't want to get rid of them, but yet you want to make room for the newer stuff that's coming around. Great way to make these books and use up those paper stacks. I just made a flip book for Rosa, and I'm not kidding you. I used almost a whole paper stack just on one flip book. Now, I did add a few pages to this already. So, I mean, this is big enough. When you think about it, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces of cardstock if you want to cover the front and the back. That's totally up to you. And that again adds to the weight, and it also adds to the bulk of the book, which is why I really, really wanted to make those spines. So you're going to need either a scoreboard or a cutting mat that you can score on. You're going to need a stylus. You're going to need a bone folder. And you're going to need a pair of scissors. Now, when you're going to use your 12 by 12 paper, you want to try to get the best, thickest cardstock you have in your stash. You do not want to go with the flimsy cardstock for this project, guys. You really don't. And if you want to use paper that's pattern paper on both sides, or double-sided pattern paper, go right ahead. If you want to use plain cardstock, go right ahead. Like I said, if you do choose to use textured cardstock, just remember a quick mist of a water bottle, really quick, and you dry it off with a nice clean paper towel super fast. That will help break up the fibers, and it will give you a lot more ease when you're using your score and you're bending when you're bending it. Such as my book here. This one I made with texture cardstock. Ordinarily, had I done this and the linen cardstock, and if you can see here, it broke up just a little tiny bit. And I have a really bad cold and a nasal drip, guys, so please forgive my cough. So as you can see right here, it came apart just a little bit. Again, this is one of those areas where if you wanted to use some washi tape, that would be a good place for it, just to give it a little bit reinforcement. Now, I know this is going to be fine. It did not go straight through. It just happens sometimes with texture cardstock. Like I said, that water mist treatment, that will fix that really, really, really quick. So the measurements for this are going to be, you want to score this at 5 6/8 for your first score line, or 5 3/4. However you want to, I'm giving you the measurements in case you're using the Martha Stewart scoreboard, or if you're using the Fiskars cutter like myself. So that's the first one, 5 3/4. You just want to do that all the way down. Then you're going to go to 6 2/8 or 6 1/4. You're also going to score that all the way down. You're going to take out your cardstock, flip it over, and now your score lines should be going across horizontally, the ones that you already made. You're going to go to 6 inches here, and now you're going to create another score line. This one I'm just going to do it twice, just to be silly. Then you're going to go to where it says 6 1/8, but you're going to go a tiny smidgen over 1/8, and I do mean a tiny smidgen. You don't want to be at 6 1/4. You want to be like right below that, like right after 6 1/8, but right before 6 1/4. And you want to make a nice little score line, and I'm going to do one more. And that's all you're going to do with the scoring. Now you're going to put your scoreboard or your paper trimmer away, because you're not going to need it anymore. Now is when you're going to either apply the mist if you have textured paper, or if you just want to apply it just because you want to be safe, that's fine. You apply the mist, you take your dry paper towel, you wipe it down super, super fast. No droplets. If your bottle makes droplets, don't use it. It will not be good, because that will warp your paper. Now you're just going to make the little folds. This is where you want your fold folder. I am going to do the big folds first, because they are easier for me to do. And that's done. Then I'm going to do the first score mark. The 1/8 of an inch score mark is going to be a little harder to do. So a little tip is just hold it, start it off at the corner here like this, and try to pinch this with your fingers. Now it's harder for me to do it this position with the camera here like this. So excuse me for 1 second while I draw this a little bit closer to me so that I can fold this a little bit easier. So I don't know if you guys tried making these just yet, but I really, really like these. I like these so much I think I'm actually liking them more than the pocket letters. And I love the pocket letters. But for myself, I tend to use these more like for my paper crafting friends. I used to pen pal once upon a time, very, very long time ago, when I was a teenager. I don't. And also when I was in my early 20s, I have not pen paled in many, many, many years since then. So now that I kind of folded the second score line, I'm just gonna go over that with my bone folder to make sure that that fold is nice and crisp and there are no problems. There we go. Now, this is what you're gonna be left with. Now I am going to get my scissors now and I am going to cut. You want to have, when you look at your paper this way, you're going to see you have a little gusset here and a big gusset here. You want to cut this where the big gusset is, facing you this way. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to cut out this piece right here. And you're going to cut it up to the second line. So let's do that. That way you can see what I mean. You're going to cut the big old 1/2 inch spine, not the little tiny gussets. And you're going to cut right along that until you hit that second score line. Then you're going to cut the other one. We're not going to need that. Like I said, guys, I'm really sorry that this is taking me a little bit longer. The hands are not cooperating as well. Although, let me rephrase, they are cooperating. They're just a little slow today. It's just a little stiffness. So this is your book. And you see what I mean by you're going to have... Now, sometimes, depending on which way you cut your book, see, I cut it the wrong way. When you fold it over, whichever one is the longer one, that's the one you want to keep, and the other one you want to cut out. It doesn't matter. You can take this right here, you yourself, but what you want to do is you want to make sure you fold it down flat like so. You flip it over and you just trim away the excess. And I'm trimming away the excess only because I don't want it to show when my book is closed. Now, if you wanted to add another page to your flip book, this would be a nice place where you could make a score line and then you can, you know, bend it and create a hinge for another page. I am not going to do that. I am happy with just the 4 pages, so I am going to trim the excess off as well on the other side. So now both sides are trimmed off. Now it's perfectly even, and now I have a little book with a spine, and I have a few more now that I can decorate. Like I said, this is a really, really, really nice way to get a lot of that cardstock that you're not using out and put it to good use. Also, your 6x6 paper pads, whatever leftover scrap pieces of pattern paper. Now, you see what I mean, guys? This was the first one I made. I didn't wet it, and that's what happened. So when I do decorate this one, I might want to put a little washi here just to make sure that it stays nice and strong. And it did only do it, it did it more on that one side, on this side than this side. But that was just an example. And it's because I used the textured cardstock. I mean, it's a really nice strong cardstock. It's just that if you're not careful, when you score it and bend it, it can crack. And that's because I did not wet it. If you wet it, that won't happen. Oh, another thing, if you don't have a Misty bottle, what you can do is take a piece of paper towel, any kind of paper towel. You would mist the paper towel like this. And you don't want it really, really, really wet. And what you want to do is you want to take the paper that you're going to bend, and you would just rub the area. You would make the score line, or make the score line and then rub the area before you start folding. And then once you do that and you fold it, it won't break. And you can do it that way if that's a lot easier. The reason I don't like to do it like that is, you see, I tend not to, I don't know, I think I pressed it too hard or whatever, and it did warp just a tiny, tiny little bit. So I like the other way better. But either way will work. Just don't rub so much like I did. That was just a little too much. So, yeah. Alright guys, that's my little tutorial on my version of these awesome Penpal flip books. I'm going to go have some fun and decorate a few of them now. Little Hot Tomale, thank you so very much for your tutorial and for inspiring us all in making these little Penpal flip books. I have watched several of these videos of yours, and gotta tell you, I was totally inspired, so much so that I came over and created a whole bunch more. Now I'm going to go play if my hands allow me. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you for stopping by, and I will talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.